Excellent, bro. And we're shaking up.
Hello and welcome to Get in the Ring podcast and interviews. Today we are in the Art of Boxing gym in Bahola. And today we are joined by Sean Conroy from Claremorris, a promising young boxer who's just turned professional. So thanks Sean, thanks very much, I really appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
That's the one.
Thank you.
So tell us, how did you get started and which trainers and gyms did you start in?
So I started boxing when I was between 7 or 8 years old. I had two older brothers boxing at the time. And I suppose it was only natural that I was only getting involved myself. So the first club that I went to when I was 8 years old, I was in Kilmaine, just past Ballinrobe. And my trainer there was Matty Donlan, and there was another lad there, Billy. I forget Billy Gibbons, I think his name was. Mm-hmm. So I was there since I was about 8, and I stayed there till I was about 13. I won 4 hours Celtic and I was there about 13. And then after that, I moved into Ballyhonus Club with Martin Peake.
Very good.
Yeah,
you had a very good start, didn't you?
Yeah.
But so the most interesting thing, one thing I don't know much about yours is, could you tell us about your amateur career?
So my amateur career obviously started when I was 11 years old. I was by one, so I won my first Irish title when I was by 150 kg, and then just progressed 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, all the way up to I was about 20. I just won Irish title after Irish title. When I was 13, then I went to Russia. I went to a place called Chechnya.
Wow.
So that's where the European Championship has been held that time. So I had 2 fights that time. So my first fight was against the lad from Ukraine. So I beat him for a bronze medal, and then I fought one of the hometown lads. He was a Russian lad, so he beat me then on a 6-4 split decision. But it was very, very, very biased though, if I'm being honest. I got a public warning as well in the fight as well that cost me 2 points. But it was just everything in the hometown. And then when I was 15, then 16.
They're all tough lads out there, as well.
Oh, damn, I don't know it. When I was 16, then I went to Kiev in Ukraine, and I had 3 fights on the trot. So I had Romania in the last 32, I had Germany in the last 16, and then I fought Uzbekistan in the last 8 for bronze medal, and that's where I came. That was where I came number 3 then, the ranked in the world. And then I fought the same lad then, funny enough. I fought the same lad that beat me 2 years ago in Russia. Yeah. I fought the same lad again in the semi-final for the same medal again, and he ended up beating me again on the split decision. So I don't know, you tell me, it was like just funny, like.
That's Michael Conlon.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so what was your record then as amateur?
I'd say I had in between 80 or 90 fights in Ireland anyway. I'd say I lost about 7 or 8, I'd say, between them.
Maybe 3 of them were a bit unfair, That's the way it is. That's the way it goes.
You don't look back in the past. You just.
It is what it is. That's the mindset.
You look forward.
Wow.
The past is no good to me now.
Do you have anybody in your life outside of boxing that's an inspiration in any way whatsoever, or is it just all?
Yeah, well, my granddad was a big inspiration to me. He was a very father figure to me. He actually committed suicide there about 4 years ago. He was about 63. And he actually passed away from that. He was actually a big role model to me, and when he passed away, I was kind of down for a little while, just a good while after it, and it took me bits and bits to kind of get back myself after that, but I kept going, and now I'm back here, so I'm making good strides now again, and I'm coming back to myself, and partly for what I'm doing is all kind of dedicated to them as well, for who were there for me in the past, and that's where I'm going,
And they're like in you now, they're behind you,
Yeah, of course they're, yeah.
So
it's like the wind on my back, pushing it along the way,
It's tough, isn't it, man? So please tell us, who was your favourite boxer and why?
So my favourite boxer was Mike Tyson. Stereotypically, it's just the way he was and the way he fought, and his attitude and just the way he was. He was just straightforward, and he had no time for people that he thought that wasn't necessarily wrong and all that. So he was my favourite fighter.
I think a lot of things he'd been through was he'd been through tending his friends and that, and then did him over. That's what made him a lot more vicious as a social character. But now he's nice and cool, he's accepted that, and he only has good people.
Well, I watched an interview of him when he was younger, and he was telling me how he was telling the people how people are opportunists.
Yeah.
When they see you up, they're there for you. And when you're down, And when you're down, then like they're sticking the knife in your back and you're no good. And he said, he just said you have to be wide to people. He said there's a lot of like rats in boxing. He said you just have to be clever and just have a team around you that's going to look after you.
It's everywhere, like, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's what I love about this gym. There's none of that. It's all about. It doesn't matter. You can be down. It doesn't matter.
You come in, you walk back out. You're still the same person. There's no one trying to take advantage of you. It's just you and just the people that's around you. And that's what I love about this
good
gym.
people.
Good steady people. Yeah.
That's all you need, isn't it?
That's all you need in life.
Are you using any other gyms or in particular or anything like that, or trainers in like any one of your specifically training with and all that for your next fight, or do you know who your next fighter is?
No, so my next fight hasn't been announced yet. So I'm going to London on Wednesday.
Do you care?
No, not really. So I'm going to London on Wednesday, where I'm going for 5 days of training, and I'm going to the AJ weigh-in that's on a Friday. I'm going to the fight in that's on a Saturday. My manager, who's Darren Barker, is a former world champion as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's bringing me to the fight as a guest. And that's where I'm going to be talking more about over there when we're looking forward to when my debut is going to be. So hopefully around November, December, we was looking for our debut. So like the gyms and stuff that I'm using say the Loughlilla gym in the Loughlilla gym in town. It's owned by Andy Morden. And then where I'm training at the moment, like boxing stuff, is the Art of Boxing gym in Bahola here with Dennis Ahern, and he's a big part of what I'm doing as well at the moment.
Yeah, very good. Brilliant, yeah. That's where we are at the moment, the Art of Boxing gym. And this is John Carney's fitness. He's into his fitness now. Look him up. There's your blood, John. How much work do you put into training? And do you study footage from other people, or is it just like, say, I'm sure, and how is it?
If I'd look back on my life about the amount of time I've put into training, I couldn't tell you, just go on forever.
Full-time job, man.
It's a full-time job, and having a wife and kids, it's
full-time job.
It's tough. It's around the clock, like it's 24/7. But it's just having those things though, so it wouldn't change, like having kids and having a wife. My wife is a big part of what I'm doing. Like she's the one that's actually pegging me on the way as well. She was actually sending emails out to promoters and asking stuff, and she actually helped me along an awful way along with it as well. Yeah.
It's very important to have a strong woman behind, isn't it?
I don't, you know what to say. A man just says as a lot got to do with the woman he chooses, like so, and it's no lie because it is, you know.
Like not many people know this or know how to think or anything. It's just fascinating from the outside world, but you're in it and you're loving it and you're good at it.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel in a boxing match? And what motivates you to win? Like, what happens in there to make you say, you know, what happens in there for you?
When I'm in a ring, you're feeling like nervous, you're feeling happy, you're feeling confident. You have a lot of things that's going through you that it's hard to even explain when you're in the ring. And it's just, he's there and you're here, and there's just a referee, and it's just that. And you kind of have a little split decision where you say to yourself, well, it's either going to be you or me. And I choose myself all the time. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. But every time that you go into the ring, what pushes desires, when you have people out there, you know, that's counting on you, and the people that's pushed almost so much time and effort into you, you owe it to them in a way, but not to them, just to win.
Yeah.
And then if you don't win, well then at least you've tried.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure they'll be happy with that.
Let's say if you're in a boxing match and you're someone tough, obviously have been, you know, especially amateurs, but like, let's say if you get clipped or rocked, what does that do to you? Does that make it, or you make like, okay, I just got caught, I'm just kidding, what is it?
Well, if you're in a ring and you have a lot of experience, and if you got rocked and you got really angry, well, that'll be a silly thing to do.
Silly thing, yeah.
Because you're just going to end up getting rocked again.
Walk into another one.
You're end up sitting
come in for another one.
It often happens. It often in a fight and you get rocked, but the best thing to do is just stay calm.
Keep calm.
Just relax.
Yeah.
Just relax. I remember I was in Russia when I was 16, and I boxed that from Moldova, a tall lad, and I was just in the first round, and I just literally went in and just stared at that, and all of a sudden I got caught with a shot. I didn't even see it. And the next thing I knew, I was just down. Literally, just touched my knee and I was back up, and I don't even know what happened. Like I wasn't hurt. I was just like, oh. And after that, then the next 2 rounds after that fight, then I just smashed him up. Like I won the fight then on the animals on a split decision. It just shows you.
Yeah.
Just a moment mirror thing like that doesn't have to define the outcome of your fight. Like you can still go and change it.
This is a very tricky question. And it's going to be very interesting to see your insight into it. You probably need a few days to think about it. Oh, I should have said that. But it's on. I'm putting you to it. So it's very difficult. But I love this question. So, what do you think, in your personal opinion, defines a fighter?
What does quit mean?
What's that?
What does quit mean?
I don't know.
What is he? Is he a prize fighter, or is he a man that's fighting for his family? Is he fighting for?
A fighter's a fighter, man. He fights for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah, of course he does. But sometimes why a man is fighting, there's something behind it. There's something that's pushing him along the back. He's not just a fighting man. There's something that's making him want to be a fighter. It could be his family's history. It could be his bloodline. Could be
trying to prove a point.
Could be trying to prove a point. Could be want to make a better life for himself. There's always some sort of a story to why a man is a fighting man.
Yeah.
Is it money, or is it trying to make a better life for himself or his kids? There's always some sort of a reason what defines a man, and it's, I don't know.
Exactly. No, that was well said. So basically, anybody who's a real fighter just fights for what they believe in, and they will do that.
There's a story behind him, obviously, for why he's doing it. Because there's obviously no madman in this world that wants to put himself through this torture 24/7 for nothing. Like,
yeah.
Do you know?
The goal, and you're going to get your goals in time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Where do you see yourself in a year's time?
Yeah. Where do I see myself in a year's time?
Just 1 year's time, or maybe 5.
In a jacuzzi, relaxing.
That's 6 years time.
In a year's time, I see myself being maybe 4 or 5 as a professional, and really just working myself through it, and just getting myself up there, and just really put my feet into it, and just starting to slowly put the pedal down.
Are you ready?
Oh yeah, big time.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh yeah, ready.
That's the one. I love it, man. The most important thing, I suppose, let's leave everything aside and all that. Everybody needs something and somebody in that. And I know you have a very good, strong family behind you.
Yeah.
How much does that help you in and out of the ring in life? How important is that to you, family and connection?
Out of life, it helps massively. Because as a boxer and as a fighting man, and even just as a family man yourself, when you have bad days, you need someone that you can turn to, someone who can just put your arm around and say that everything's going to be okay. Because you'd know just from even seeing celebrities, you need people. Just because you have all the money in the world doesn't make you any happier than anyone else. And there's obviously going to be bad days where you're going to have to be picked up. Yeah. And just to have family there that can help you do that, it's massive. Yeah, you don't have to feel alone then.
And one you can trust. It's a very strange thing. I've seen some recently. It's like, let's say you see when you're famous, right? It's going to be very strange when people come up with a tattoo of your face on them.
Yeah.
Now, okay, fair enough. We all think, these stars and all these things, but they're still humans. People forget that. Now, could you imagine, literally, if I was walking down the street and someone come up to me, a stranger, look, I have a tattoo in my arm. That's a bit weird. It doesn't matter if you're famous or not. It's a bit weird when somebody else does that to you.
Oh, it's
very strange.
Weird,
yeah. So it's just very strange things you're going to come across. But what's most important is you have the people around you to support you and know you, and that you can just having a hard time, like you said.
Well, if you were doing something like this by yourself, God knows where you'd be. So if you looked at, you don't really might know if a person called Darren Sutherland, he was a boxer as well.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
He was a brilliant boxer.
2002 he died or something.
Yeah, brilliant boxer. Had a lot of things going from Simon Frank Warren, I think, or something like that, in England. And I think he had 1 or 2 fights as a professional, and all of a sudden he ended up taking his life. Maybe because he was living away from his family in England, and maybe he felt alone and something like that. That's where
pressure. You don't know what he went through.
You don't know what the importance of having a family and a team around, someone who's going to look after you.
Yeah.
And not allow you to be used or abused or anything like that. So it's big time having family there.
That's why it's so important. And if you're ever going through anything difficult, family, no family, whatever it is, you got to talk to somebody. Something like that can't happen here, because there is people out there to support you, no matter what. If you think there is or not, you might be going through a hard place, but please, if you're going through something, you got to do that. Okay. Well, thanks very much, and the best of luck. I hope you're excited as we are.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much. See you later.